Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for January 16, 2020 to order at 7:32 p.m. On roll call, council members Fasolo.
Here.
Golubek.
Here.
Ingui. Here. Pellegrin.
Here.
Wechsler.
Here.
Council President Balistreri.
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Erin. Good evening to everybody. We have a wonderful evening ahead of us. It's exciting times here in Elmwood Park this evening. Changing of the guard, so to speak. New officers being promoted. But first, let us rise for our prayer and flag salute. Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we entrust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbors. Guide us in our deliberations so that our decisions will always please you and bring you peace and happiness to our community. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They keep changing the location of these flags.
Been there for a while.
Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey require at the commencement of every meeting a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now, therefore, be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing a special meeting notice in the Record and Herald News and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk as well as in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 8th, 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is being videotaped, so you're all on camera tonight. And it will be televised on Monday at 3 p.m. and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. The video will also be available on the Borough's website at www.elmwoodparknj.us. Mrs. Delaney?
Under the approval of minutes this evening, we have the December 19, 2019 regular meeting.
May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
On roll call, council members Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wechsler.
Yes.
Council President Balistreri.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's public meeting is a special one as the mayor and council will have the honor of installing our fire department officers for the year 2020. At this time, if everyone could all rise as we welcome the Elmwood Park Honor Guard and fire department. Thank you. You may take your seats. I will now have the pleasure to welcome to the dais our incoming fire lieutenants as follows. Lieutenant Stephen Kochik, Company 1, Alessandro Calabrese, Company 2, Christopher Gilmore, Company 1, Second Lieutenant, Anthony Delaroso, Company 3, Peter Truinsky, Company 4, and Samantha Shavasta, Company 4, Second Lieutenant. Can you please step up to the dais for your swearing in by Mayor Coletti? Also joining him will be Fire Chairwoman, Councilwoman Ingwe.
All right, that's going to work. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the government established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of Fire Lieutenant according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
Just watch out, you can't talk with it.
That's why I got my gavel.
These guys are signing my mortgage. Thank you.
We will now welcome our fire captains as follows. Captains Tyler Lewinsky, Company 1, Mark Hedinger, Company 2, Christopher Soong, Company 3, and Gregory Thompson, Company 4. Please step up to the dais for your swearing in by Mayor Coletti and Councilwoman Ingwe.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of
Constitution of
the State of New Jersey,
the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true
and will bear true
faith and allegiance
faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments
to the governments
established in
established in
the United States
the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and I will faithfully,
and will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of this office.
of this office.
Fire Chief. Fire
Captain.
Fire Captain, I'm sorry.
Captain.
According to the best
According to the best
of my ability.
of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, guys. Someday it's gonna happen, so just ahead of it. That's all.
Kiss me. The big one. Congrats. Congrats. Congrats.
We will continue on with our program by swearing in our battalion chiefs alongside their families. First, we would like to welcome our 2nd Battalion Chief, James Mills. And we would like to invite him up to the dais alongside his family.
What's that? Big moment, huh? I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of 2nd Battalion Chief, according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
You got to sign more of these papers.
It's going to be a tough one. At this time, we would like to welcome our 1st Battalion Chief, Edward Merzewski. Close? Good enough. To the dais.
I'm going to need 2 cheers for this guy. I
Edward Mejia,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
to support the Constitution
of the United States
of the State
and the Constitution
of
of the State of New Jersey,
New Jersey,
that I will bear true
truth,
faith
faith,
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the government established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people,
the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, justly perform all the duties of the office.
justly perform the duties of the office of First United,
Thank you. According to the best
according to the best
of my ability.
of my ability.
So help me God. All right. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
At this time, we would now like to welcome Assistant Chief Robert Bruce to the dais alongside his family for his swearing in.
I want to get you in the camera. I
Robert Bruce,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true
that I will bear true
faith
faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority
under the authority
of the people,
of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of
all the duties of the office of
Assistant Fire Chief
Assistant Fire Chief
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God. Congratulations. Last but not least,
Congratulations. Congratulations.
As the mayor said, last but not least, we would now like to welcome the man of the hour, incoming Chief Robert Shavasta Jr., alongside his family for his swearing in.
Vasta Jr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear
that I will bear
true faith
true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties
of the office of
the office of
Fire Chief,
Fire Chief,
according to the best
according to the best
of my ability,
of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Now, is he the one that like the plastic challenge?
I just want to say one thing. You see how youthful
Thank you so much.
our fire chief looks? It's 2 years from now, you're not going to
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wait, just sit out here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see how he registers.
Here.
Comments on council?
We'll do the special presentation. And then
Yeah.
Okay. You got it. Thank you.
the presentation and then comments.
Dismissed it or identified.
Okay. Yeah. At this time, the mayor and council will now like to make a special presentation to former Chief Michael Sulik Jr. I would like to welcome down to the dais Mayor Coletti and Councilwoman Ingui, the fire chair. Do you want me to hold it?
You didn't kiss me.
I don't think this is on. Is it on? Yeah, okay. Well, I thought you were going to be sitting when I was saying most of this, so I apologize when I'm going to not use your name till the end. But at this time, I wanted to speak about this extraordinary man. This man has served this borough for 43 years as a volunteer firefighter, being the chief not once, not twice, but 3 times. He served as a chief in 2004, 2011, and in 2019. Speaking of 2019, on January 30th, 2019, Elmwood Park witnessed the biggest fire this town has ever seen. Under the leadership of this chief, our fire department, and almost 70 neighboring mutual aid responders, they worked tirelessly to control the massive Markel fire. I will never forget that evening and the way this town and all the leaders came together. As Chief Foligno stated, no egos, just teamwork. At this time, I would like to present Chief Sulik with his plaque. And the plaque reads, "The Borough of Elmwood Park hereby recognizes and thanks ex-Chief Michael Sulik for his years of outstanding service and leadership to the Elmwood Park Fire Department and the residents of Elmwood Park, January 16th, 2020.
I guess we all know the history of this gentleman here. I had the privilege, stay, don't go. Oh, okay. I had the privilege of actually serving the first term, I'll call it.
Fire commissioner.
Right? We go back a long ways. And what I can say about Mike is that he always had a smile, even when we had some pretty severe problems. He walked away with a smile and was always cheerful about things. And that's something I'll always remember about you, Mike. And I think the fact that, did you set a precedent here? Has there been any other chief that has done it 3 times? No. Okay. That in itself speaks for itself. And personally, and I think I could speak for the mayor and the council here, I want to thank you very much. It's a privilege knowing you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Will you take a photo with the Thank you. You can be seated now. Ladies and gentlemen, before we take a recess, 5-minute recess, we're going to have our council people speak on tonight's events. Denise?
Okay, first I just wanted to thank you all for joining us on this special evening and the swearing in of the chief, assistant chief, 1st and 2nd Battalion chief, captains, and lieutenants. I am truly honored to be the fire commissioner this year. I would like to congratulate you all on your promotions tonight. I do not know you all well, but I do know your children, and I believe that children are a reflection of their parents. With that being said, this group should be very proud. Proud because your integrity and selflessness has rubbed off on your children. It's very easy for me to identify which students of ours have parents that are involved in the town. Those students stand out because they walk with a sense of pride, pride for their school and pride for their town. You all instilled that in them, so thank you. I look forward to building a respectful and trusting relationship with the department and having a great 2020. Congratulations.
Mr. Golombek?
Thank you, Mayor. First to Chief Sulik, thank you on your many years of service. In working with Chief Sulik, two adjectives really come to mind, and they're reasonable and level-headed, and that's, two things you couldn't ask for more in a leader. So we thank Chief Sulik. We wish you all the best in your future. To all the officers, congratulations. To incoming Chief Chavasta, congratulations. If we can ever be of help, whether it's financial or otherwise, please come to us. We know the great work you do for very little in return. And if we could ever do anything to make the fire department stronger, work better, our door is open. We're open-minded people, and we will work with you. Thank you and congratulations.
Congratulations to all our fire department officers on their promotions and new rank within the department tonight. We are thankful to have each and every one of you protecting all of our residents in the community. You risk your lives every day to save others. You are all heroes to me. Last January, when the Markel fire was blazing out of control, your professionalism, your perseverance stopped the fire from spreading through our community. Lives were saved because of all of you, and the community is forever grateful. Again, congratulations to all of you and your families, and thank you, and always be safe. Mayor, I have one more. And to Chief Sulik, thank you so much for the many years of service to our community. I've gotten to know you better over the last couple of years through our department head meetings. You are a true professional who gives 110% to everything that you do, always willing to help others for the betterment of our community. You're a true leader. Your professionalism and impeccable work ethic is incredible. On a personal note, I want to thank you and Chief Shadwell for helping with the Residents Assistance Program. When the program needed volunteers, you stepped up to the plate and you offered your assistance to our residents in need, and I really appreciated your help. Again, thank you for all your service to our community. We all truly appreciate all you have given through all the years. Congratulations to you and your family.
I would like to congratulate all our fire department lieutenants, captains, battalion chiefs, assistant chief, and chief on your promotions this evening. I want to commend and thank all of you for your service to Elmwood Park. You have all been faced with much more in the last year with the Markel fire. We are very blessed to have such committed and passionate men and women in our department. I also would like to thank your families for their support. This affects them as well when you are called out all hours of the day or at the evening without warning. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and please be safe always.
Thank you.
I also want to thank Chief Sulik for your many years of service. You will certainly be missed by many. Your hard work, commitment, and compassion never goes unnoticed. Thank you, and I wish you much happiness in the next chapter of your life.
Mrs. Sweatcher?
I want to congratulate all of you officers. We are proud of each and every one of you for your time and all your dedication for this town. Without you, I don't know what we would do. Robert, I've known you for a long time. You have the best backbone and the best family, and your wife and your son, besides your mom and dad and your sister and brothers. I know you'll do a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chief Sulik, there's nothing I can say that this town hasn't said 100 times before. What a special person you are, for everything that you have done for this town and everything I know you'll still be doing for us. I know you'll always be there for us. Congratulations and thank you for everything.
Mr. Fasolo?
Chief Suluk, thank you for all your years of service to Elmwood Park. Our community really appreciates it. And for the many that have been working with you for many years, you can see what kind of person dedicated and kind you are. Congratulations to all of our officers that were sworn in today. The Elmwood Park Fire Department and our police department are the backbone of our community, and we saw that firsthand in the Marcal fire. I'd like to wish you all the best of luck in the coming years, and stay safe. Thank you.
Mr. Foligno?
Congratulations, Chief. Look forward to working with you. I enjoy the relationship that the two departments share together. I think we have fabulous emergency services in this town. Not just saying that because I'm involved in them, but I truly believe that. I enjoy our mutual respect for one another and how well we work together in the trenches. Look forward to working with you. Chief Suluk, outstanding man. I can call him friend, and that's not a term that I throw around loosely. A true gentleman and a humble leader, and I'm going to miss you, Mike. Thank you for all you've done. Good luck, guys.
Thank you. To our new chief, to Mike, and the rest of the fire department, I've always been humbled by your service to this town. The inconvenience that you go through, it's all volunteer, there's no money attached to it. The safety that you bring to our town, and I'll mention the Marcal fire. I think it was fabulous, the fact that for all those days and all that collateral damage, we didn't have any serious injuries. And that goes to the compliment of the leadership of this organization. And the handing down generation after generation like we're seeing today, 3 generations of firefighters. That knowledge is being handed down. We are fortunate to have that within our community. And once again, with the fire there in Marcal, no serious injuries. To contain it and keep the collateral damage just to the perimeters for the most part, that is saying something about this department. And okay, good luck to you, Chief. And Mike, are you going to the Bahamas? Where are you going?
Disney World, going to Disney. He's going to Disney.
Disney World? God bless you. We're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, last thing, sorry. Two things, actually. I just want to thank former Councilman Joe Dombrowski for an outstanding job as being the last fire commissioner. I hope I can do half the job you did, and I hope that I still have your support and you can guide me with this department, because you really did a phenomenal job as their commissioner. Secondly, I would like to ask Steve Kochik to please come to the dais for a presentation he has for Mike Sulek.
Chief, on behalf of the Fire Prevention Bureau, thank you for your dedication and service and support of the Bureau. For the last year, I know we've worked close together, and good luck in what you do. Just a small token of my appreciation. And for anybody that doesn't know, Chief's father had worked for the Bureau for quite a few years. I want to present you with your father's badge.
We're going to take a 5-minute recess. Yes, hold it, stay put.
So since the mayor and council are looking to take a break, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Mike, you've been a constant in this department since I started. I don't quite have the time you got, but all the time you put in, I respect and admire it, so thank you and good luck in all your future endeavors. To my officers, all of you are what make this work. I'm nobody without all of you. Just remember, middle management, That's where it's at. That's where the hard work is. I'm just a white hat up here. My friends, family, I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight. It means the world to me. And there's something special here tonight. I don't think anybody's ever had an entire wrestling team at their swearing in. So, guys, can we come up and take a picture, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We're going to take a 5-minute recess, I think. We're good?
I would now like to call the meeting back to order at 8:20 PM. To reestablish quorum, council members Fasolo,
Here.
Golubek,
Present.
Ingwe. Here. Pellegrin. Here. Wetchler. Council President Balistrary.
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum for ordinances being read on second reading. Resolution R-57-20, introduced ordinance number 20-01 on second reading. Whereas the public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to establish the Water Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Bergen County, New Jersey, to fix the rates and prices to be charged for the use of water and establish rules and regulations for the distribution, supply, use, and protection of said water and penalties for the violation of certain said rules and regulations. Whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, January 2nd, 2020, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. Whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to establish the Water Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Bergen County, New Jersey, to fix the rates and prices to be charged for the use of water and establish rules and regulations for the distribution, supply, use, and protection of said water and penalties for the violation of certain said rules and regulations, pass on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Ingwe, second by Fasolo, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance? If not, I will close the public portion. May I have a motion on this ordinance?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
First by Ingwe, second by Pellegrin. Council members Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Ingwe.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler. Council President Balistrary.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-58-20, introduced ordinance number 20-02 on second reading. Whereas the public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Code of the Borough, Chapter 24 entitled Water, more specifically the Reserve Section 24-4, so as to read restrictions on discharge of sump pumps and groundwater. Whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, January 2nd, 2020, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. Whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Code of the Borough, Chapter 24 entitled Water, more specifically the Reserve Section 24-4, so as to read restrictions on discharge of sump pumps and groundwater, pass on final reading.
Motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance? If not, I will close the public portion. Motion on the ordinance, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
First by Fasolo, second by Pellegrin. Council members Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek. Ingwe.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler. Council President Balistrary.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-59-20, introduced ordinance number 20-03 on second reading. Whereas the public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a four-way stop at the intersections of Iozia Terrace and 16th Avenue, and to amend Chapter 7 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Traffic, more specifically Section 7-21 titled Multi-Way Stop Intersections. Whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, January 2nd, 2020, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. Whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a four-way stop at the intersections of Iozia Terrace and 16th Avenue, and to amend Chapter 7 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Traffic, more specifically Section 7-21 titled Multi-Way Stop Intersections, pass on final reading.
Motion to open to the public.
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance? If not, I will close the public portion. Motion on the ordinance?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Wetchler, second by Pellegrin. Council members Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Ingui. Yes. Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler. Yes. Council President Balistrary.
Yes.
Motion carries. On our consent agenda this evening, we have R-60-20, approval of payroll, R-61-20, approval of bills list, R-62-20, authorized appropriation transfers, R-63-20, authorized vacation buybacks, R-64-20, approved sick time cash outs, R-65-20, authorized emergency repair services, J. Fletcher Creamer and Son Incorporated, R-66-20, authorized emergency/specialized repair services, Vineland Auto Electric, Inc. R-67-20, award proposal for design services, Alimo Group improvements to Gilbert Avenue from Mola Boulevard to River Drive. R-68-20, award proposal for design services, Alimo Group improvements to Mola Boulevard. R-69-20, authorized current estimate number 1, Cherry Hill Playground Improvements, Game Time, Inc. R-70-20, resolution approving Elmwood Park Fire Department stipend program fourth quarter compensation. R-71-20, resolution to redeem third-party tax lien. R-72-20, resolution to refund overpayment due to county board judgment. R-73-20, various appointments of firefighters. R-74-20, confirming endorsement of community development project. R-75-20, appointing the borough's fund commissioner and alternate fund commissioner to the South Bergen Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. R-76-20, authorizing the release of certain executive session meeting minutes. R-77-20, appointment to zoning board of adjustment, and R-78-20, resolution to accept the consent agenda.
May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Mayor, through you, I'd like to make a quick announcement in relation to Resolution R-64-20 later this afternoon after the agenda was posted on our website and printed for the audience. There was an adjustment to R-64-20 as the rates that were published were based on the 2019 salaries. So I do have copies of the updated resolution up here for anyone in the audience that would like to see it, as they've now been adjusted to those employees' 2020 salaries. So there is a slight adjustment to that resolution.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? Call the roll, please.
First by Wetchler, second by Fasolo. Council members Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes on all, except I will abstain on R-60-20, check Aviana Ingui only. I will also abstain on R-64-20. And yes on all the rest, Ms. Deline.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler.
Recuse on R-60-20 on Harry Wetchler's check, but yes to the rest.
Council President Balistrary.
Yes on everything except I abstain on R-64-20.
Okay, motion carries. Before us, we have 3 departmental reports: Board of Health minutes for June, September, October, and November 2019, Library Board minutes for November 18, 2019, and Recreation Advisory Board minutes for November 25, 2019.
May I have a motion to accept the department
So moved.
reports?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Council members Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler.
Yes.
Council President Balistrary.
Yes.
Motion carries. Last but not least, we have 1 application for approval, Elmwood Park Patterson Elks Lodge number 60 for March 13th, 2020, a 50/50 raffle.
Motion to approve the application.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Council members Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler.
Yes.
Council President Balistrary.
Yes.
Motion carries. Before turning the meeting over to you, Mayor, I will read your 2020 committee and liaison assignments. For committees, we have our Finance Committee, Councilwoman Doris Wetchler, Chair, and Council members Fasolo and Golubek. Fire, Councilwoman Denise Ingwe for Chair, and Councilmembers Fasolo and Golubek. For Insurance and Ordinances, Councilwoman Denise Ingwe as Chair, and Councilmembers Balistrary and Pellegrin. For Personnel, Councilwoman Doris Wetchler for Chair, and Councilmembers Fasolo and Pellegrin. For Police, Councilwoman Lorraine Pellegrin for Chair, and Councilmembers Fasolo and Wetchler. For Public Works and Buildings and Grounds, Councilwoman Sandra Balistrary for Chair, and Councilwoman Ingwe. For Special Veterans, Councilwoman Lorraine Pellegrin, and then for liaison positions, Board of Education, Councilman Fasolo. Board of Health, Councilwoman Pellegrin. Board of Recreation, Council President Balistrary. Chamber of Commerce, Councilwoman Pellegrin. Epic/Homeowners, Councilwoman Wetchler. JIF Representative, Mayor Coletti. Planning Board Representative, Councilman Golubek. Senior Citizens, Councilwoman Wetchler. Stigma Free, Council President Balistrary. And Veterans Alliance, Mayor Coletti. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you for that. I'm sure everyone will serve to the best of their abilities. Let's have our council reports. We'll start off with you, Mr. Fasolo.
I want to congratulate, I had the opportunity to go with the mayor and Councilman Golubek and Councilwoman Wetchler to the swearing in, the reorganization meeting at the Board of Education. Congratulate Mr. Luke as president and Mrs. Aspris as vice president, and Ms. Girardi and Mr. Zoltek on their terms. The next board meeting is on January 28th. On March 10th at 6 p.m., the class of 2020 project graduation is holding their Tricky Tray and fundraiser. For all interested, please contact the head of the class of 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fasolo. Mrs. Wetchler.
Yes, the library meeting for the year of 2020 will be on Monday, January 27th at 6 o'clock. The regular meeting is usually on the third Monday of every month, but if there's a holiday on a Monday, it's the following Monday after that. Construction's moving well. They're hoping to be in by April if everything goes okay. And so far, they're at the hut yet by the rec center. Homeowners meeting is Wednesday, January the 22nd at the Senior Citizens Building at 7 p.m. Come out and get involved. Everyone is welcome, even if you own a home or if you're just a renter. Bus trip to the casino is Friday, January the 24th, leaving the rec center parking lot at 10 a.m. and returning at 7 p.m. The cost is $30 and you get back $35. Please call Linda at 201-966-7694. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Wetchler. When did you say the library meeting was?
Monday, January 27th at 6 p.m.
January 27th. Okay.
Because it's Martin Luther King's birthday next
And what-
Monday coming.
Okay.
So that's why they made it the following Monday,
Okay, and what was the time?
6 p.m.
Thank you. Mrs. Ballesteri?
Okay, recreation. We have a new flag football program starting for ages 18 to 30. You can register online. The price is $75. Indoor soccer has begun. Summer camp early bird sign-up will begin on March 30th. Camp will run from June 22nd to August 7th. DPW, the men have been out patching potholes as the weather permits. If anyone is aware of a pothole, call the DPW so it can be added to their list for future repair. Leaf season has ended. The men are now working on cleaning parks and roadway fence lines for leaves. Our next stigma-free meeting will be Wednesday, February 19th at 7 p.m. in the all-purpose room. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Mrs. Pellegrin?
Yes, good evening, everyone. My Board of Health update. They had their meeting on January 13th. New officers for 2020 were chosen. The president is John DiMarzio, vice president is Clarissa Proctor, treasurer is Jeanette Randazzo, and our secretary is Marlene DiStefano. The board welcomed 2 new members, Angela Fava and Teresa Sheridan. The board meets the second Monday of each month at 7 p.m., except for July and August. The public is always welcome to attend, and their next meeting is February 10th. My Chamber of Commerce update. They had their meeting on January 13th. They will be having 3 breakfast meetings. The first one will be January 24th, 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Location, Spencer Bank Conference Room, 611 River Drive, Elmwood Park. The agenda will be come meet your board of directors and fellow members. The second one will be held on February 28th, 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Location, the all-purpose room in the municipal building. Mayor Coletti will be the guest speaker. The third one will be March 27th, 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Location, Spencer Savings, and this will be a brainstorming meeting that they want to hear ideas and visions and concerns from their business owners. The Chamber looks forward to meeting all current and future members. Any question on these meeting dates or anything else, please contact them at 201-796-1457, extension 230. My police update, the end of the year 2019 report. Our police department responded to 52,293 calls for service in 2019. This total is 4,174 more calls than in 2018. 18,896 motor vehicle summonses were issued. This total is 6,835 more summonses than last year. 48 DWI arrests were made, 485 adult arrests were made, 12 armed robberies were investigated. Logged in were 184,288 patrolled miles. As you can all see, our police department is very busy. Through the leadership of Chief Foligno and the entire department, we are blessed to live in a very safe community. We commend the entire department for always going above and beyond and to protect all of us. Thank you, and always stay safe. Lastly, Council Corner will be having its first meeting of the year on Saturday, January 25th at 1 p.m. in the all-purpose room. Join myself and Council President Balistrieri. Share your concerns, visions, and ideas with us in an informal setting. Our guest speaker will be Nicholas Pellegrin, CPA. Thank you, Mayor. Progress.
Thank you, Mrs. Pellegrin. I see our boys and girls of the police department have been busy. Mrs. Ingwe.
The fire report for 2019, I would like to thank the Fire Marshal Steve Kochik for providing me an extremely detailed report for the 2019 year. There's so many pages here. If anyone would like a copy or would like to see this, I'd be happy to share it. The man hours that went into this is unbelievable. 2019 has been a top year for the fire department with breaking record calls. All types of calls were up from last year's number. Total incident calls were 545. Total drill assignments and work details were 194. So the total department responses were 739. 2019 is also the first year they began tracking man hours. The time put in by the volunteers is equivalent to 8 career firefighters, which is a savings to the Bureau for about $1.1 million. These volunteers are giving endless hours for this, and we appreciate them very, very much. The total number of volunteers for the borough is 77. We need more volunteers. If anyone is interested, please reach out to me or to Steve Kochik, and we would like to see that number near about 125, I think, volunteers per house would be ideal. Lastly, I would just like to give a shout out to the top 10 responders of 2019. Captain Tyler Lewinsky, 461 calls. Lieutenant A.C. Calabrese, 418 calls. Kenneth Pressler, 396 calls. Nicholas Fedorsen, 349 calls. Lieutenant Steve Kochik, 334 calls. Michael Pressler, 332. Captain Greg Thompson, 318 calls. Ronald Pressler, 312. John Kinner, 294. And Robert Bruce Jr., 264 calls. I did say lastly, but I do have one more thing. The fire prevention report. For the month of December, the Bureau has conducted 26 smoke and CO inspections for the residential rentals and resales. The Bureau has conducted a total of 41 commercial business inspections for the month. The Bureau has officially lifted the fire watch for Markel, and all has been well there so far. With all of that, progress, and thank you again, Lieutenant Kochik.
Thank you, Mrs. Ingwe. I see they've been busy also. Mr. Golovic.
Thank you, Mayor. Just 3 clarifications on the consent agenda resolutions for the public. Our 6720 was to have our engineer design the bid for Gilbert Avenue. We received a grant of $195,000 to pave from the boulevard to River Road on Gilbert, with the exception of Spidell to Viveny, which was done a few years ago. One of our most traffic roads with our 3 schools there. So that project will be bid out. Obviously, with school being in session 5 days a week, we'd have to work with the winning contractor to either do it on a spring break, on a weekend, or perhaps in late June, but that's good news. That's going to get paved. The one following that was design services for Mola Boulevard. Mola Boulevard from just about Hillman and Birchwood Deli all the way to Garvey Place will be repaved in full once this project is bid out. From that point on Garvey Place, we will work with PSC&G to have that remainder paved all the way to the Garfield border, so that whole stretch will be completely resurfaced by June, I would say. And then following on that, we also have a grant to pave from about the firehouse on the boulevard, probably all the way up to the post office. So we're working with our state money to really get those roads up to snuff. And R74-20, we endorsed an organization in town to apply for community development money. It's money that we, the borough, also get, about $190,000 roughly every year. By us supporting this organization, it does not hurt our chance. There's a pool of money for towns and a pool of money for nonprofit organizations, and we're supporting an Elmwood Park nonprofit to try to get some of the nonprofit money, so that doesn't affect us in any way, just as a point of clarification. Progress, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. I am happy to report for 14 days on the job that our Borough Administrator, Mike Foligno, and I, this week, we walked the paths of the Artesian Park to check out on the maintenance end of it and also develop some ideas to enhance the park going forward, to be discussed with the Mayor and Council at a later point, and then go to the county. But it wasn't terribly bad what I saw, and I think, Mike, you would agree. The paths were all clear. We actually met some residents on the way there, and they were very pleased. I was actually surprised, because I never walked it in its entirety, that we do have something there. And, with baby steps, I think we can develop that into a nice thing for this town. You may have noticed that the sign boards are gone across from the Union Bank and the TD Bank. We got somebody applauding there. They were unsightly forever, and the council is currently discussing possibilities of some kind of passive park there at that said location. With that, I'd like to have a motion to open it to the public.
So, second.
Anyone from the public care to speak? Please state your name and address and direct your questions to me.
Hi, my name is Gladys Griskowitz. I live at 256 Fensack Avenue. I'm here, I think, for the third time in reference to my curbs or lack thereof. I'm aware that I am responsible for my curbs, but I'm also aware that I did not destroy them. It was due to the snowplows. And with that said, you all talk about wanting to beautify this town. And I see new roads that have been paved, and the curbs haven't been touched. They're crumbled, they're non-existent. So to me, it looks shabby. It's just a half-assed job being done. With the prior BA told me that there's and you were in that meeting, Mr. Clevy. There's 60 phone calls a month about broken curbs. And I'm a little disappointed that not just this administration, but the prior ones years back have never even tried to meet the residents or the homeowners a little bit in helping us fix our curbs. Because I will tell you that a senior citizen on a fixed income, they're not going to fix the curb. They're going to pay their taxes, and they're going to pay their health insurance plan. And that's going to leave for a shabby looking town. I drive around, and I'm Cole and Fensack, Cole and Rudolph. They're destroyed, the curbs. There's nothing there. And I just think that if you could farm it out, maybe, I've had people come. I've had contractors come. Either the prices were absolutely ridiculous, or they didn't want to be bothered. Oh, I need a permit for this, and that. They're not going to dig deep down like they do when they repave a street. And I've been on the same block 45 years. It took 30 years for them to pave my block. So, by you people saying, oh, well, I will only get the curbs when my street is repaved, well, I'll be dead by then. Because it's not gonna happen, there's too many streets in Elmwood Park. So, my thing is can you come to some kind of, meet the residents in the middle? I don't know how much they charge per square foot or linear foot to put a curb in, but I'm gonna put this curb in, and how do I know that the snowplows aren't gonna come and destroy that curb that I just paid for? I just think that it's ridiculous to look at a street that's just been paved and then there's crumbled curbs. I don't see where we're going forward with that.
Yeah.
And, I've spoken to you about this, and
Yes, you have.
and I came up with 3 proposals, and nothing was ever said.
To answer your question, I know it is very costly for a homeowner to have to remediate their curbs. I understand that. But you got to understand, as an elected body here who is concerned about a budget, that if we were to allow every citizen in this town to come in and have their curbs replaced, your taxes would be triple. So what we did, we came up with the resolution that when we're paving a road, if the curb is in deterioration, I'm not talking about cracks or little chips. That's another item that there's not enough money in the whole world to correct that problem. But when the basic part of the curb is not there, when we're paving a road, we're going to replace that curb, because that's the right time to do it. And there'll be no cost to the homeowner. But to allow the residents to come and ask for their specific front curbing to be paid for by the town,
I'm not asking
we can't do that.
I'm not asking for I'm set aside a certain amount a year. I'm not saying every resident that comes down that you're going to do it, but I've been asking for 15 years. I'm not going to get my road paved again. So I don't understand why. Now here's a town, Woodridge. I own a home in Woodridge. That mayor, Senator Sarlo, every single homeowner got curbs and sidewalks, the entire town. And, if you don't believe me, just take a drive by and look. Somehow he got the funding. But like I said, I'm not asking for you to say, oh my God, 60, people are going to come down and demand new curbs. I'm asking, why can't you set aside some sort of funding? So at least maybe do 3.
We can't do that because it would be discrimination.
Well, then why are there are streets in Elmwood Park that are getting new curbs that haven't even asked for them?
They don't have to if we're paving the
But
road.
you're not paving them.
Well, you'd have to be more specific, and I'd have to see what you're talking about.
Okay, Roosevelt.
I know what our policy's been here, and I'm assuming it's been followed in the last 2 years since I've been here. And I feel for you. I understand it. It's very costly. I used to be a mason. I started out as a mason. I know what that cost factor is.
So why can't you farm it out? Why can't you, if there's 60 people calling a month, why can't you put them on a list and get a better price?
Well, that's reasonable.
I've asked for that. And because to me, it'll keep a mason busy forever.
Yeah. That's a reasonable request if we do get an amount of calls coming in.
Because I'm not doing my curbs, I'll tell you right now. I'm never touching them. They can stay like that forever. And that is going to make this town look like crap. Because, and I know a lot of people have busted curbs. They're not going to fix them. Not, and most of the masons that I call, I don't want to touch it. Like I said, or they want $5,000 to $6,000 to fix it. I'm not paying that. I planned on doing a major renovation to my house. And my husband's like, no, it's just, I don't know if it's worth the investment. But this town doesn't meet anybody halfway. And that's, I've been through it. 15 years I've been asking for curbs. And then guess what? They did pave my street, and they didn't give me curbs. Then the next year they paid Rudolph. Everyone got new curbs. Even the guy, and I'm sure you know the house on Rudolph Avenue that's been vacant for 27 years now, he got curbs. Yeah. He's a dead man. He got curbs.
Yeah. What I think happened there, if my memory serves me correctly, the policy changed. and unfortunate that that road was paved and the policy did not consider your curbs at that time. I think the following year or 2 years later, we changed it and made it mandatory that we would correct the
Well,
curbs.
the mayor kept telling me, come down, Fayola, come down and put your name on the list. I came down twice, put my name on the list. They're doing the street, and I said to the guy, well, how come you're not doing my curbs? Oh, well, we're not doing curbs. It wasn't in the bid. But going forward, I would make sure that every bid, if you're gonna pave streets, don't neglect the curbs. 'Cause
Absolutely.
That's what makes the town look good.
I agree.
You come down the street and you see a beautiful house and it has curb appeal. I have no curb appeal in my house. So I'm just asking if you guys could think of a way to maybe farm it out. If you have 60 people calling a month, get us on a list and see if we can get a better price. And maybe people, if I could get a much better price, I would do my curbs.
Mr. Foligno, do we get a lot of calls from residents regarding that
We get a good amount of calls.
yeah, maybe we could assemble them and see if we can get a contractor that can give them a good price and take it from that point. But I would think we would have to stay out of that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Attorney.
Well, based on your ordinance right now, Mayor, based on the ordinance, you do have to stay out of it unless you were, again, if there's a bidding process where the street is being done and part of the development of the street, the paving includes the curbing. But other than that, you really couldn't take any action or participate in that type of stuff unless you change the ordinance.
Maybe can we guide without participating?
Well, you can, through your building department, I would think, and through the business administration, business office, you can sort of try to get the contractors who are actually going to be doing the work, depending on if there's one contractor that's going to do 50, 60 of them,
Yeah.
or the same street, it would help.
Yeah. And you see the ramifications here, once we get involved with the contract, it becomes maybe not so legal. So,
I'm sure that your attorney could think of something and you sign something and there's always a way around something.
okay.
You know?
All right, well,
To me, it's only gonna benefit the town. It's not just gonna benefit me, it's gonna benefit everyone who lives here.
Okay.
And I'm sure that in Goffrey, what's your name, in Goffrey, I'm sure that you can come up with some kind of, legal stuff and we could sign away, this is the way, if we're not happy, too bad. We agreed to it. If I agreed to have someone come, if Foligno can get someone, a mason to get, a big bid, 60, 70 people want it done, we can get a great price, I'll sign something.
Yeah.
What's the difference? It's broken curbs.
Yeah.
Anything would be better than a broken curb.
Yeah, but-
Right now, my grass is growing over it.
Yeah.
Would you allow us a little time to research this a little
Sure.
more and then?
Yeah, I've done
I'll
15
contact
years,
you?
I could do, I could wait.
All right.
All right, thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Anyone else care to speak? Your name, address, and direct your questions to me, please. Uh-oh.
Hands Arabia, 34 Locust Street, Elm Park. Mayor and councilman and councilwoman, we have bigger problems than you think. Town looks like Patterson, badly. We got garbage laying in the city hall parking lot, doing nothing, just sitting there. And I told the chief many times, there's a bag there, they've never been picked up since they did the parking lot. It's been there in the yard, in the driveway, on the side of the fence, about the fence side of the local Mulberry Street. And another thing, Chief, one thing wrong with you, listen what I tell you. The road needs repair. You didn't repair it. You just left the street unpaved. And now there's a big sinkhole in the middle of the street. So one of these days, when a cop car goes down in the street, it goes right in the hole.
Which street, Ken?
Mulberry. You didn't do the Mulberry Street parking driveway. You did a parking lot, but you had to go the street. The street needs repair badly. It's like a really big hole in the drain hole, and half the drain hole is a sinkhole. It's there. And I told them when they repaved the road, I said, put something here because there's a big hole. There's a big hole here, and you need to repair, and then undo it. They just let it go.
Maybe,
Meanwhile,
Kenny, maybe we could take a look at that, Chief.
Now, the
and see-
thing I want to tell you, Chief, Mayor, the street looks like a junkyard when they repaved the nice piece to the little piece to hook to the
Where's that, Kenny?
Mulberry Street.
Mulberry Street, okay.
They repaved it. It looks like a junk piece of road hooking into the parking lot.
Okay, we'll take a look at that.
The other thing they don't bring was the garbage too.
And the
laying
garbage.
there. A big bag. I mean a big, huge bag. And I told them anytime I went to the police department and I complained to them and they said, oh, we take care of it. But they didn't do nothing. The bag's still sitting there.
Garbage bag?
Yeah, a big one.
Okay, we'll call DPW tomorrow.
I did tell you that because I didn't tell him. Man, that since when you built the parking lot, that was there. Since then.
Okay, anything else, Kenny?
And I want to say, I'm happy you're all here again. I just want
Thank
to
you,
say.
thank you. We appreciate that, Kenny. Okay. Anyone else care to speak? State your name, rank, and serial number.
Jeffrey Freitag, 35 Coleman Drive, Elmwood Park. One thing seems to not be clear to me. I'm well aware of what the ordinance is referencing curbs. And as far as, I've heard the words thrown out here that there is a policy. I heard there's been a resolution regarding this, of which I don't know of any of that actually exists. Now, usually the way, if you're going to do something, you go about in a legal fashion, you would correct the ordinance if you wanted to replace curbs, that it would be evaluated upon the repaving of the street. Well, that may get done, but if there's nothing really written, is there really a policy? Or is a policy is typically an interpretation of an ordinance or a law, and it has to follow it. It can't just violate it. So if the ordinance is to do one thing and you're doing something else, why do we have ordinances?
To your point, you're making a good point.
But is there a resolution saying what you said, that if a street's going to be repaved, that an evaluation of the curb will be done prior to being paved, and that will be included in the bidding for the job?
Yeah.
That was done.
Yeah. To answer your question, I don't know.
Okay.
I would say that I think there is, but that's a poor answer to your question. We're going to have to research it and resolve it, because I do agree with what you're saying. It shouldn't be ambiguous. It should be in a resolution.
Mayor, may I add to that?
Yes.
Since about 2014, Alimo has been the borough engineer, and as far as I understand, anytime they've ever been tasked with creating like a proposal for paving a road, the language included always is we will be doing curb on an as-needed basis based on our professional recommendation. So as far as I'm concerned, since 2014. Every council, every mayor and council has agreed with that verbiage, agreed with giving the engineer that kind of latitude to determine where curbing needed to be,
That's called passing the buck.
Well, I mean, Mr. Freitag, I'm telling you an answer, whatever you want to characterize it. That's been the practice of the borough since at least 2014. I can't tell you what the practice was before that, but it's been working. And in situations where we are paving a road and residents come forward, there have been certain situations. I want to say Donna Ave, where as a road was soon to be paved and residents made their concerns known, that curbs were added into the equation. So that's the extent that I know. I think
So if a homeowner comes forward and advises that there's a problem, then it might get addressed. But as far as the engineering looking, I've been going to meetings for a long time. I've heard that the DPW has a list, that there's, Mr. Cars does this as part of his normal duties, compiling these things and which curbs are supposed to be replaced. I've heard that.
Well, Jeff, let me weigh in on that. It's kind of ambiguous because the engineer's got to go there. He sees chip curb. And he
I'm
has,
talking about chip. I'm
no,
talking
no,
about missing.
yeah, but I know what you're saying, like, what determines whether this curb is going to come out or not? When the mass is not there, then at that point, you want to replace that curb because it holds back the edge of the asphalt. So, but to your point, I think he has a point, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Attorney, that there should be by resolution a decisive factor whether or not we are going to correct and install new curbs when we pave roads. Is that correct?
Well, last year, we had a little discussion regarding this, and I had a total different concept at that time, but I was made aware that I wasn't correct. And of course, then reviewing it, the ordinance is clear. It is the responsibility of the homeowner. However, with regards to doing it as to a piecemeal, yes, you may want to say that technically this council should pass a resolution every time there is a curb being replaced based on the advice and suggestion of the engineer. However, it should be noted that every time there is a proposed development with regards to redoing the street and the curb, that project is approved by resolution. So therefore, technically, there is a resolution that's approving and has approved the existing work done and ones that are pending. However, again, going back, that's a resolution. But to make it more clear, I would, at this point, advise council to do a resolution and clarify more with regards to the condition, the necessity, and sort of delineating the descriptive aspect that would require the curb to be replaced. And then eventually, when that street gets done, then that would be part of that resolution would stand for future references for any engineer firm to address.
Thank you for that, Jeff. Anyone else care to speak? Okay, Ken. Okay.
34 local street. Mayor, there's another thing that is an issue that I forgot to tell you about. There's glass, not glass, not glass, but glass, like window pane glass, that kind of stuff, is on your yard in the corner of the property where they do with all the parking lot and everything, but somebody did dump a whole bunch of glass over there. And people get attacked because they ain't no one by the curb. It's all glass.
This is on Mulberry Street also?
No, it's on your street back here.
Okay,
It's on the corner.
okay. Yeah,
Where they dig, they got rid of the sidewalk.
okay,
That's where it is now, glass.
okay. All right, Kenny, thank you for bringing that to our attention, and we'll take care of that tomorrow. You got a lot done here tonight, Kenny.
I know.
There you,
Everybody think I'm hoping.
there you go. Thank you. Anyone else? If not, I'll close the public portion. Motion to close, please.
Second.
All in favor? Before we adjourn, I'd like to make mention that this meeting is being videotaped and will be on Cablevision Channel 77 on Monday at 3 p.m. and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. The video will also be available on the Borough's website at www.elmwoodparknj.us. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Good night, ladies and gentlemen.